Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board's meeting of June 14th. I'll call the meeting to order at 6:01. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at thetownofbernardston.org. First order of business is a warrant, so I'll entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $61,276.15.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $32,633.96.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion for the regular meeting, regular minutes meeting of, the minutes of the regular meeting on May 31st, 2023. There, I think I got it out.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Any discussions, additions or anything? Nope. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of the special meeting of June 7th, 2023.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Any additions or deletions or corrections or anything? Nope. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Calendar announcements. Cushing Library is temporarily closed due to mechanical and septic issues. As people driving by, you see that the septic issues are being addressed, and hopefully that process will be done in a few days. There's still some mechanical work that's got to be done, so keep in touch and we'll get that open as quick as we can. Bernardston's Farmers Market, Saturday through October 7th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the United Church parking lot. The Council of Aging, we meet on Tuesday, June 20th at 9:30 a.m. at the Bernardston Senior Center. Anything else that you guys can think of for meetings or anything?
I think so. Nothing that I know of.
No, we'll have the fire department committee meeting. We'll be meeting Tuesday at 4 p.m. at the town hall. Any citizens' concerns? I guess none. Don't hear any. So our first appointment will be Lucy Domkaler. Lucy, why don't you step up? Lucy has asked to speak to the board for guidance on the plastic ban bylaw that was tabled at last week's annual town meeting. We'll open the floor to you.
Okay, so thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And this issue is really passionate with me and I think a lot of people, so I want to make sure that it's done right, obviously. I think I started off not really knowing how to go about it, and I was advised that the petition was a good way to start, so it obviously wasn't, so I'd love to make sure that we're on the same page and I can find a way to appropriately do this so that we can all have a chance to decide what we want to do.
Okay. I think you've got a good starting point. You received a couple bylaws from a couple other towns.
Yeah.
That would be a good starting point for you and your committee.
Okay.
And you need to get a committee, I would think, of at least 5 people.
Okay.
Being business owners,
Yeah.
citizens that would be involved in it, but you need to get that going first and have that committee look at the bylaws that you have. Go through them and say, is this a good fit for Bernardston, not a good fit for Bernardston?
Yeah.
How can this be worded differently? And with the other business owners and with the citizens, you'll be able to get that input.
Okay.
Then from there, we should have this isn't necessarily needed, but I would suggest that we have a public meeting for people to come in and be able to give their input as to because by then you will have a bylaw draft.
Right.
And we can pass that out and the people can say, nah, we don't like this, yeah, we like, or we love everything.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then we would take it to a vote for the townspeople.
Okay.
at a special town meeting. I would probably think this is gonna take you probably a couple months to get this thing done.
Yeah, and is there, so who, I think what I was a little bit confused about and I thought was interesting as well is that just having a citizen be responsible for writing bylaws. So is there a person in town that you would recommend that we could?
The person I would recommend that you get advice from is the planning board, because they write a lot of,
Okay.
they write a lot of bylaws.
Yeah.
But also this bylaw, we would send out to our attorney
Okay, yeah.
to make sure that it was written right and there was nothing in there that was
Right.
gonna make the town liable for anything.
Okay.
So, we go through it, and I don't know if there's anybody, a member of the board that wants to be on it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to be on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think it's something we can help you with too through the town website to advertise.
Oh, yeah, for
Luke
sure.
can put a little blurb on there
Okay.
if there's citizens that want to get on a committee to help write this bylaw.
Okay.
Business owners that want to be. We do know the Heirloom Collective expressed interest at the meeting the other night.
Yep.
That they would be helpful
Okay.
within it.
Yeah.
They don't think it's going to affect them that much, but
Right.
they'd still like to take
Yeah,
part
do
in
you
the community.
have,
We can get you contact
that'd be
info for
awesome.
them through
Okay,
Jim
okay,
Cahunihan.
absolutely.
But Luke can probably put a little blurb on there.
And I
see if
connected
people-
with Jennifer from the senior center
Yes,
as well, and so her and I were gonna sit down and chat and
Perfect.
talk about details. And I mean, I think that there's a lot of things that can be done, and it seems very feasible. There's some things that might need to change, but
Yep.
And you have like the brewery in town that could have some concerns of what they need to do.
yeah,
Even if they're not on the committee,
yeah,
it might be good to go in and say, okay, let's get the business owners, let's have a
Yeah,
meeting with just
right.
the business owners right
Yeah.
now, see what their concerns are.
yep. And they don't use any.
Yeah, they do.
They use recyclable cups.
They use plastic forks and all
The
that good
forks,
stuff for food, their pizza that
Right,
they do,
right.
and their hot dogs and stuff like that there,
Yeah.
so there's stuff there.
Yeah.
You got Zeke's that,
Yep.
that has plasticware.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then I know Townland Creamy uses all compostable. They have this entire time. We use all compostable. I mean, it's very accessible. It does come with a little bit of a cost, but for-profit businesses, I feel like it's
Yeah.
like pennies. Non-profit, that's another
Okay.
kind of conversation, I think.
You have the store that
Yeah.
that has things that
Yep.
might be good to talk to Dan. It just needs to be spread out. you
Yeah.
know, it's just-
And I definitely imagine that there's going to be people that aren't going to be happy with it as well. That would.
If
so I may
you
not be able
can
to-
write a bylaw that's gonna make everybody happy, I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
you're gonna
You can
become
write them all if you can do that.
You're gonna be the first mayor of Bernardston.
Yeah. But I think it's
Okay.
definitely doable, though. It definitely
Yeah,
is. It just
yeah,
came so quick
absolutely.
at us all. We didn't really have
Yeah,
time to
yeah.
digest any of it. That's just
Right.
personally speaking.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I apologize, and
Yeah.
I mean, this is my first dabble into
Yep.
this
No.
world, and I didn't know what to do, and so
That's how we all
I
figure it
went
out.
with
though.
what I was advised, and it's
Yeah.
good to get
Yeah.
it started.
Yeah.
So you got two members right here.
Yeah,
Uh,
perfect.
I know
You
the
wanna
other
be a
one, they did
member?
reach
Jean
out.
wants to be one. Yes, Jean will be
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Jean will be one. I know Jen wanted to be on it.
Jen.
the Senior Center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a great one to be
Yep.
on it.
We can,
And I know I don't want to speak for him, but I would guess that I could get Craig White to
Yep.
be involved.
Yep.
He
Who's
signed our petition from Hillside.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, obviously, and then the Heirloom, you're gonna get contact information,
Yep.
and then I'll reach out. John Lepore said he would help as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether they actually want to get onto the
It's
committee or
definitely
not.
doable. It's definitely a
Yeah.
doable thing.
And I know if we, if you get something kind of like drafted
Mm-hmm.
through all this, and then we just like bring in the business owners first, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have the public meeting, so they can have a first shot at dicing it down or adding to or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know like Heirloom, I was talking to Jim, he's not against it. He just, there's protection. I know,
Yeah, for sure.
I know like Zeke's, they probably won't be against it, but there's
Right.
things that that can affect them.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, just again, personally, as a personal business owner, and I don't really need to tell you guys this, but I did go through a very, very detailed to try to make sure that it would work with my 25 years of restaurant experience. I mean, before I owned a bakery, I've never worked in a bakery before. I've been in a restaurant my entire career. and I lived through the ban in Seattle, and I was working for a very large corporation, which had access to money, but I also have dear friends that were chefs that owned their own restaurants that went through it. So I have experience of it, and it's it was a restaurant mindset when I wrote it. So I will say I did not take into consideration places like the Kiwanis and the Senior Center, but just knowing kind of how at least Buckland's was written, it seems like it's there is a little bit of a cost, a small cost, that if a for-profit business, the cost is minimal. And then also there's some specific things that can't possibly be made recyclable or compostable, packaging, small packaging, those kind of things. They literally don't exist. Like the little straws that go on the Razzle machine that the Creamy sells, they don't exist. So until they exist, that wouldn't be something that would go under this. That would become an exception of if we can't source it somewhere else, at a reasonably financial price. And again, a business that has a public budget, like the Senior Center, we all know how much money they have. I think we could easily grant an exception for that if it's needed. And then I think we also should talk about how, if there is an exception that's needed, how does that go about? How do you guys land with it? What do you do from there? And I would love to have your input on that too, because I think that'll be a big sticking point.
Another person, I can't speak for this gentleman, but you might want to reach out for Marvin Shedd.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's definitely said he's interested.
Yeah,
in helping.
he knows everybody.
Yeah,
He can go and he can talk to the people that.
Yep.
So that would be another person for your committee that.
Yeah.
I would suggest that if he's willing to put him on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have a great guideline right there, really. The Buckland.
Yeah, yeah. And it is really
We're not
confusing.
suggesting you reinvent the wheel.
No,
either, so.
yeah. I spent like 2 days reading this and I was like, whoa, I'm just going to print it and go.
Jane Dutcher just submitted a question through the live chat. She would like to know, how will this affect the bags that we buy to take trash to the transfer station?
We won't know that until we get through
Yeah,
this
so
process.
I mean, in the current one that I took from Buckland, that's an exception. So
exempt.
like newspaper bags that go to the transfer station. Ultimately, I think in all, what I think needs to be done is getting rid of styrofoam as a packaging to go container. And maybe we decide that we do it in phases. So maybe styrofoam starts, and then in a year from now it's plastic bags, and then 2 years from now it's silverware, and nothing's saying we have to do it all at once.
Right.
I think this just came because this is what my understanding of how
Yep.
to do this process. So
It's a good start. Good starting point, really.
I have two questions,
yeah.
Very good.
both of them fairly broad. I guess put on your wish list hat.
Yeah.
What exactly do you want, if you had your dream come true, what would the process be? What would you expect as the end result of all of this work?
So I would start off by saying my number one concern, and the thing that would make me the happiest if in a very soon future couple months, is to eliminate styrofoam, just styrofoam. My big dream is that stir sticks, like those little plastic stir sticks, plastic bags, those could be done. And I mean, I want to make sure that it happens with what works with the town. I feel like sooner than later, the better, the faster we start it. I mean, we need to look at our future, and so why not start it now when there's so many available options? But I'd be happy with a year from now.
Just making progress.
Just making progress. I think it's really important.
And if you can leave loose, sorry.
A second question. The whole process, you've embraced it. I believe Craig has embraced it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason that it has to be formalized into a process that impacts everyone? Why can't it be a voluntary process for those that want to participate, as opposed to making everyone have to toe the line and do that?
So I feel really strongly that it should be a nationwide ban, that nobody should be using this product. And if our town stops supporting, stop buying, stop producing, having it be available and spending money on it, eventually every little town's going to do it, and they're going to be squeezed, and styrofoam's not going to be made anymore, or they'll find better ways. So I feel like it should happen throughout the town, just because I think it's a really important thing. I think it's really necessary for our world and our town.
And that's good for you.
Right.
But if it's not good for me,
Yeah.
why should you be?
Well, I mean, it's like that with
allowed to?
anything, right? Like any law out there. So I think, like you said, no law is ever going to make anyone happy. But honestly, I have little children that are going to be living in this world a lot longer than I am. And I just think that all of our citizens of Bernardston should be able to get the same quality of town that we had 50 years ago, 100 years ago. And so that's just my opinion.
I think I'd like to see the process go forward, though, with the committee and stuff, and see where it comes out. I think it's a good thing, and I also think it's a great thing to get citizens together and businesses together.
And I also think, the main people that it'll affect the people that it'll affect are business owners and people that sell food or sell whatever. So nobody's saying you can't buy that product somewhere. You can buy your styrofoam in Greenfield or wherever. So you still have, as a citizen, you have a right to buy it. It's just whether business owners have a right to pass it on to the people is where I feel like we should maybe stop it.
Okay, well, I think you're headed in the right direction, and I think you've got a few names on your committee already that can start, get the meeting set up, and we will be working with you, so you're not going to be in the committee. Brian's going to be on it, so he'll feedback to us, and if we all have to be on it, we'll jump on as well.
Okay.
So.
Do you have all Lucy's contact info? Somebody reaches out to
he
you?
does.
Just so you can pass it on.
I think the one last thing I want to say too is that I think we do a really good job in our elementary school of teaching our children about this product. Every 5-year-old I talk to is like, styrofoam. And so I think it's really important for us to practice what we preach to our children. And the elementary school is doing an amazing job of doing it right now. They've got an insane composting system, recycling. It's amazing. And I just feel really happy and proud to have my kid as a part of that. And I want to be able to, as a business owner, continue to reinforce it to the children. So.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, you guys. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And I'll be in touch with you, and then we'll go from there.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, trash cans at Pratt Field. We have a letter of concern from a resident about we were talking about the dog dispensers, the bags we have over there, and where to put them. The plastic bags are now going into a trash barrel that's in the dugouts. And the reason they're in the dugouts is because we were told that if you leave them out, the water gets in them. So they go in there. This resident has been taking bags out and taking them on themselves to take them over to the transfer station to dispose of them. Really appreciate that, but we got to see if we can figure out a way to make this work. So they mentioned that Cushman Park has the bag dispensers, and maybe we can have Brian look into what it would cost us to put up a couple over there. And while we're on the subject, shame on the people that are using the trash bags and then throwing them into the woods and all over the place. I wish if we knew who it was, we would not allow you to use Pratt Field. I mean, if you've got a doggy bag and you picked up your dog's waste, if you can't find a trash can, take it home. Dispose of it there, but just don't throw it into the woods for somebody else to step on and have an issue of having to clean it up. So, could we ask Brian that? Would you guys be willing to do that?
Yeah, I think it's just a covered can that would keep the water out. They're already dumping the trash cans at the dugouts, so another trash can or two probably wouldn't be that onerous on them.
It's helping out.
See what Brian thinks too.
Okay. And this here I'm going to pass back up. We're not going to take action on that. you're gonna send a letter in to the selectmen to, for complain or something, if you don't have your name, on it, we cannot take action on it. And the one we just passed, I passed back up is one we couldn't take action on anyways. So, but, just to let you know, we need to have a name if we're gonna take action. Next order of business is Solid Waste District Holland. Jan Amin has sent out the annual MOUs that we sign every year to take care of our recycling, not our recycling, but our hauling at the transfer station. And this year it has increased again. In every category it's increased. Mm-hmm. And it's, what'd you say, the tonnage went up? $44 a ton?
Recycling and bulky waste went up $44 a ton for the hauling fees.
This is, and just so people will know what we're paying on recycling, it's $255 per haul and $450 per tandem haul. That's $207.50 per box. If we do a tandem, that's the tandem is when we hook two trailers together, or boxes together. And then we have the trash, that's at $270 per haul, and it's $97.76 per ton. That was $94 per ton last year. And there's no tandem hauls on mass road limits on that one. Bulky waste is $240 per haul, or $415 per tandem haul. It's $115 per ton. Last year it was $105 a ton. And then you have the mattresses that are $50 per mattress for disposal. And last year it was $35. And $30 per month per roll-off rental, and that stayed the same. So as you can see, everything is going up. The scrap metal is gone from $180 per haul to $195 a haul. So we've got to make sure that we're getting those things as full as we can, so we're not having to haul more than we need to.
I think, Stan, we do have a MOU to sign for the solid waste district. If I could just add in there that I know we've thrown around for a couple, 3 years now. Brian Miner and Lou have been looking into a little bit of options here for disposal of our goods and recycling and bulky waste and scrap metal and whatnot. I'd just like to see if we can kind of push that along a little quicker than maybe some of us have. Just as these prices are getting to be this high, it does affect the tax rate. It's not, the transfer station is not fully funded by trash bag receipts and or your disposal fees you pay for a bulky waste item. Where there is significant tax dollars that go into the transfer station as well. If there is another option out there, I know some of the smaller towns have gone to home pickup. Whether that's the option or not, I don't know if that's right for us, if we could even afford to do it, but I think we might want to start formally really looking into that to see if that is a viable option for this community.
Yeah, I spoke with Jane Dutcher and Brian Miner today, and we touched on that. I have a Zoom call set up with an independent operator next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. Kind of the first volley, if you will, trying to get some information. And I agree, there's got to be a better way. This has gotten to be a very expensive operation.
Who's the vendor you're going to talk with?
You would ask me that. It's actually, if you remember, Taylor Millspaw, who was here formerly with CMRK, she's gone into another company now. Oh. So it's going to be with her and her new boss.
No, I know.
It's like Waste First or something.
I know Triple T has just been bought out by another company.
Yep.
And I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll get it, and maybe we could have a call with them as well. And if we can find one of them that would like to come and put a proposal together for us, we'd be glad to have them come to a select board meeting.
Is there a timeline associated with this, Franklin County Solid Waste Management? Do we sign a contract on an annual basis?
Annual
Pay as
basis.
you go?
Yeah, and it's,
Annual.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a lot like the COG agreement. We've got a 6-month.
Notification.
Drop dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so do I have a motion to sign the memorandum of understanding between the Franklin County Solid Waste Management District and the town of Bernardston regarding hauling of recyclables and hauling and disposal of solid waste?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on it?
Unfortunately, there is a big price increase, but currently today, we don't really have much choice,
No, we don't,
right?
until we get to
Yeah.
do some research. I'll pass this down the head, just sign that.
Make a vote on that, Stan.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Who made that motion?
I did.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
And the company is called Waste
There's-
Zero.
There's a second one. It's called what?
Waste Zero. I'm not sure what they do, but I'm going to learn.
Okay, great. We have a time off request.
Okay.
Motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Pass that up to Lou. Okay, the next order of business we have is
Just
we've got.
formally vote it, Stan. Just ask for the vote on that.
Okay.
We moved it and seconded it.
Oh, I
just
can
didn't
do
vote on
vote. All those in favor?
it. Aye.
Thought I said that. The library. We have a new bid here for, first of all, we have a bid here for doing some environmental work at the 165 Northfield Road property that we're in the process of seeing if we can purchase it or not. And that is for $3,625. And that's to do bore samplings to make sure there's no contaminated soil.
The all-in cost for that,
Huh?
the all-in cost for the testing, the drilling, and then the testing of the results of the drilling, the total not to exceed is $10,250. The $3625, which is what you have, $3625 is a partial payment on to environmental risk advisors who is managing the process. So they are the people that conducted the first test to identify if there are risks. They did identify 3 spots which they want to drill to see if there are any contaminants in the soil. And the total all-in cost again for that is $10,000.
That include this 3,000?
Yes. So
This is like to get them going. We have to give them
this
that
is
amount.
the,
And that was,
So
and
the
that
total
was-
amount we should vote is the 10,000.
500.
500?
Let me make sure of that before I screw up.
We should have had that on the sheet here.
It is, yes, $10,250,
That's the amount we need to.
not to exceed.
Do I have a motion on that?
So moved.
And where do we want to pay for it from? We want to pay for it from the
Fire
fire station
department.
account?
Yeah.
This is gonna be paid for by the fire station account?
I'll second that motion, the not to exceed number.
Does the fire station account have that in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Has roughly 45,000 still in it today.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a bid here from Hawkins Roofing to work on the library for, it says here, work to be completed is complete slate repair, install new galvanized steel gutter system, and repair squirrel damage for a total of $5,000.
This is the last piece of what we were looking to get done at the library, I think, to complete the work over there.
That's correct.
That's a,
Yeah, I would make a motion to move forward with it while this is the last step of the repairs we noted over there, the septic, the mini splits, the power, knob and tube gone,
the insulation.
insulation, forgot about that one.
It pulls it all together.
It
This
does,
is
it closes the loop over there really. And then we already approved the landscaping piece of it, so.
Right,
Where should we suggest we pay for this from though?
I'm gonna suggest we pay for ARPA, but we don't have that ARPA sheet now, and we need to, because that is really getting down there. We need to get that finalized and complete so we know exactly what we're doing. But I would say we have enough in there to take care of this.
So Ken motioned it, I seconded it.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to thank Brandon to digging through this. This was not easy to get this bid.
No, that's a good point. He's done a lot of it. He got some quotes for the insulation, the electrical work. He's done a ton of work over there
Yep.
on a volunteer basis to take care of that.
Also on the library, I believe we voted on this the last time, the mini splits,
Yes.
but that needs to be added to the ARPA list. So that would be, we'll have to put down $25,695. And
And that's before the rebate. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's a significant rebate there.
And there still could be an electric bill from Wyman Electric. I'm not sure if, it doesn't really give us a price on this one. It says we'll apply for, okay, they're gonna, that's not relevant. Mini splits. So we need to have a meeting where we take a look at the
Just
ARPA
ARPA.
funds
Yep.
and break it down and see what we got left and where we need to go with it.
And we're gonna be here Tuesday for a fire station meeting. Not to commit more or lose time in the afternoon. Do you wanna try to do it right after that one? Or is that
Yeah, or
make it too cumbersome for everybody?
or before or after, I don't care which.
Yeah, either way.
But it's actually your schedule that,
Yeah, I could be here 2:30, 2:45 if you wanna start earlier.
okay.
It's up to you guys.
I'm
Before or
available.
after, doesn't work, doesn't matter to me.
I'm available.
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock?
Is it can you still have time to post that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that'll take care of that one.
Just gotta put that in my phone, or I'm gonna forget.
3 o'clock, you said?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
All right, I'll have to rush back. I've got a 1:30 dentist appointment in Deerfield. But I'll make it back.
Do not exceed the speed limit.
Oh, stop.
Okay, because we just a good idea to get this thing finalized and
Yeah.
try to think about what we think we need to pay for or get resolved between now and then to finish this off before the government takes the money back away from us, and making sure we're using it wisely. I think so far, I think we have. Just so people know that the library has taken up a big chunk of the money, and it's just one of those things that it needs to have those repairs, and we've got them done. BES, we did mini splits at the BES. We did the new door access system over there for the key cards. We did the window film treatment, or it's in the process of being done. We've done quite a bit. We've also used, leave some of that for the architect for taking care of the fire station. We used $60,000 of it for the broadband line extension, so we can get most of our residents onto the cable system. We had a Depot Street culvert repair. Did that get done?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's still one of those things that it's in parentheses, so it's not completed yet.
The new accounting software and hard solution.
What's that?
The new accounting solution is not on this list yet.
Okay. You make a note of that, so that will get on there.
Yeah, I've got the spreadsheet open now. One other thing to think about, and we can certainly discuss it on Tuesday, is that the rebates from the assorted mini splits is going to come back to the town. That's $47,750. So that'll come back to the town. But then we need to think, where is that going to go right into the general fund?
Which would turn into free cash for next year.
Yeah. But we need to make sure we got everything on here, because otherwise we're going to come up short. And I don't know. Yeah, 'cause, yeah, we're missing a lot. I thought we had that on here at one time. The accountant software system and all that.
We voted to expend those funds from ARPA, but I don't think I ever saw it making it on the list.
Okay. So we get that updated, and we can have a meeting Tuesday and
Square it
go
away.
from there. Any other business to come before the town?
I just want to ask if we want to do anything to push the purchase and sale agreement along on this property at Northfield Road, or do you want to wait till Tuesday to square that away, or?
And what would be in your suggestion?
I mean, I think, did you get many responses from the folks you sent that
Zero.
draft?
Zero.
I was going to say incorporate some of those that they suggested. I know the only thing I didn't see in there, and I may have missed it, was that it had to go to a town meeting vote. We were talking earlier whether the environmental study was a contingent.
It should be.
I know there was a contingent in there for the Title V.
Right.
If we wanted to see if Donna could incorporate those couple of things so we can keep it moving. I did have a talk with one of the gentlemen that took it to Chris, who was taking it to his attorney, and he doesn't see anything egregious in it that he wouldn't agree to, but I don't think we had everything in it.
I asked you the other day, did you reach out to Donna with those concerns?
Yes.
And there's no response back as why she didn't have those listed in there?
No.
Because I think if we could get those couple of changes in there, and we were happy, my conversation with one of the other members of the committee today who was on the fire department, they were good with what was in there once we added the vote and the environmental study
We
too.
can't sign it until we go to the town. And,
Well, I think we can sign it because it's contingent on the vote being successful.
well, it's
Well,
good.
right
We're
now,
gonna make sure it's in
the way
there.
it is right now, because that purchase and sale went over to Mr. Raymond before the fire station committee really had a chance to dig deep into it. Now his lawyer has it, so I suspect that his lawyer will send it back if there's any questions on it, but this is where the fire station committee and the select board would have to amend if it needs to be amended.
Right. Before anybody signs. It's still in draft form.
Right.
Right.
So it's going to be clear to wait till Tuesday probably.
I'd wait till Tuesday.
Okay.
We waited this long, let's make sure we're doing it right.
Other old business?
Go ahead.
The Leiden police situation, have we heard when are they gonna vote? When does Leiden have their annual town meeting?
They do their town meeting last minute.
Yeah, they said the last week of June.
Liz Kidder has proposed a public safety meeting for 2 weeks from today. I don't have an agenda yet on it.
Along those same lines, did the Leiden Select Board approve the MOU that we did?
Yes.
So at some point, once that was all signed, they could order the cruiser. We would get reimbursed for our legal fees at that point, Lou?
Correct.
So
Yeah,
we
once-
have we received that back yet?
No, in fact, I talked to attorney Liz Leiden on a separate matter the other day, the school spending thing, and they said that whatever invoices they've sent out have been satisfied. Now, we paid for 1 hour's worth of legal work, but there was some heavy lifting before that, so she wasn't clear if Leiden had been billed directly or not on that.
Okay.
But
maybe we should. I'm only worried about it because we're coming to the end of June and that would
Right.
turn into free cash.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
If we are responsible, we probably ought to try to figure it out.
Yeah, I asked her specifically
Okay.
if we were on the hook for anything, and she said, nope, everything's all caught up.
And I think that's all we were going to get out of that was the legal fees paid, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, as long as that's done,
And
that's
who
good.
told you that, Liz?
Liz Leiden, who was in the firm with Kate Federoff and Jay Tallerman. So
Okay.
she was actually the one who worked on the police agreement. So if she says we're good, I think we got to be good.
Okay.
The other issue is from the Finance Committee, adjusting entries to clear up any negative balances. Does that happen on the June 28th meeting of the Select Board?
I talked to Jane about that today because there are a couple that came to my attention, and this would involve transfers from the reserve fund. So typically they meet, usually it's the same night that the Select Board meets, but I asked Jane if she would consider maybe doing a Monday meeting so that they got that all done. Because if you remember last year, they met in the office and we really had to stretch out here to keep things going until they had everything finalized in there. So we will see what happens with that. But yeah, we'll get that squared away.
And Lou did check with Sue if we'd received the Comerford earmark reimbursement yet,
And she told me no.
because that would be another one that would turn to free cash.
I think that falls under the category like the Chapter 90 money, that as long as we get it by September 15th,
Okay.
it doesn't fall to free cash.
Great.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but it sounds a lot, because it's done the same way, that would be,
Just because those we've already
Yeah.
paid, it's just a
Yeah,
reimbursement.
absolutely.
How long ago did we submit for that money?
It was back in May.
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And it sounded like an easy turnaround, because I remember you and I had that conversation a year ago. The state said it was very simple to get the money back.
Deborah Collins at A&F, for most of the really onerous paperwork that's involved with the state, she had a very straightforward process where we simply invoiced them and referenced what the payments were. Didn't have to submit any backup documentation or anything else, and followed up, and she said, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now, did you send the employee review memo to both these gentlemen?
I don't remember, did I?
Yeah, I
Got
saw
it,
the,
yep.
I saw the
Okay.
forms,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, I did, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
So
I have
we-
trouble remembering what I had for lunch today.
We want to start filling them out and going from there. Who do you guys want to start with?
who haven't we done in a while? Anybody?
Okay. Well, we haven't done Jimmy for a long time,
You
so.
know, I haven't done Brian ever, I don't think.
Okay, so let's
should
start
do
there. Let's do Jimmy and Brian.
Brian?
And we'll meet, those will be, I believe will be executive meetings. So we can,
Executive session?
yeah, executive session. We can meet and review our findings and then send our findings out to them and have a sit-down meeting with them. So they can be prepared to ask questions and stuff before you come in.
Good idea.
Anything else to come for the meeting?
I'll make a motion for the meeting to be adjourned.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye. Night, everybody.